Hello, beautifuls. Come here. Big hug, big hug. So, I wanted to come on here and share a light divine reminder when connecting to the land. Oftentimes, I feel that we romanticize the land. We feel like we need to be in big, wild spaces and spaces where there aren't a lot of people, or, in spaces that look a bit more undeveloped, right? By the human race. And this is not true. You don't necessarily need to go to somewhere that feels wild, whether it's incorporated or not, to connect with the land deeply, to create a relationship with the land, to call yourself a student of the earth, to call yourself a nature lover, and all of these things. You can simply connect with the plants that are growing in your yard, that are growing on your street, the trees that you see in the city, the weeds that are sprouting, and the different plants that are arising and showing themselves through the seasons, right? The patches of dirt and grass here and there, even the plants that have been planted there by humans for decoration or simply to fill in the space. Whether they have, native roots in the land or not, they are still deeply connected to the land. I personally feel that this is a really important step when we are working on healing ourselves, is to also rekindle and heal our relationship with the earth. A lot of what we are healing from is this separation, is this fear. We are moving through so much that is related to fear, to the darkness, to our separation, to the divine feminine, the divine mother, if you will, to the dark goddess, to Mother Earth. There's been a separation of us and what we are a part of, what we are a direct reflection of, something that is a part of our family. This term, all my relations, or all our relations, includes us. All the two-legged, four-legged, eight-legged, every little bug and creature, the sands, the trees, every plant, the mycelium network, all of it. The clouds, the waters of the world is us. We are this connected. We are not separate from this tree. We are not separate from the ground. We are not separate from the leaves and how they fall. We're not separate from the effects of the seasons, the effects of the moon and the sun, the effects of the waters on the land that we're living on. We are not separate from it. So when we start to separate ourselves and start to see it as an escape or somewhere to go to, that's where we are seeing the missing link. The fact that nature has provided all of the tools necessary, all of the allies for our technology, our transportation, and our homes, the buildings, the ability to create, really comes from not only our will and our natural source of energy and inspiration of our spirit, our soul, but also the community and nature. So this is an invitation to bring ourselves home by bringing ourselves into connection with the land that we reside on, into the lands that we travel on, and start to put away the separation of seeing only certain places as sacred or wild. Can we start to see and bring back this link to these places and the spaces of our communities, of our cities and towns, of our villages? Yeah, I think romanticizing the land is kind of keeping us in this place of like, oh, I'm in deep connection, but it's also somewhere that you go to, and it's like, no, this is literally all around you. This is your body. This is your body. You can connect with the earth if you feel called to, go to a certain place, if you really feel called to go to a large body of water. That's not something that's accessible to you where you're at. You can connect to the large body of waters in the ocean within. This is the vastness and expansiveness of your consciousness, this beautiful, powerful ability to really go within, to experience and recognize all that is already within us. What we are sensing with our eyes is something that we create. We are bringing in motion all that it is that we're seeing right now. The colors that we're seeing, the shapes, the trees, the plants, everything that we're sensing and seeing is a creation from our consciousness. This idea of oneness, that consciousness is what is creating this world and timeline that we're living in, like this bubble of life. Really, it's bringing life into motion. If that's us, in the way that we see, we can connect with any aspect of nature through ourselves, through our being. And I really feel from my own experience and working with others in this, that allowing yourself to ground into the land that you are on now can be very, very supportive in your journey of doing just that. Reconnecting to the points of nature with your feet and your hands, your body, reconnecting to the dirt, shifting our relationship in the way that we see certain words like dirty. When this is dirt on the ground here that grows our food, that nourishes the lands around us. There's so much more that we're not even fully aware of because we are so focused on the program at hand. So I would love to allow this to be a conversation, an opening point to start to bridge the gap, to bring ourselves home to nature, to recognize that it is us and we are not separate. No matter where it is that you live, no matter where it is or how you feel about it, like at the end of the day, you are still nature. Your body will still decompose into this earth. This is something I'm very passionate about because I feel it is a missing link in the spiritual community. A lot of the time we connect with Mama Gaia, which is often this more ascended spiritual figure. And I see that within the physical realm here and with this idea of ascension, it's important for us to ground in and integrate what it is that we are experiencing and learning and shifting in our lives, to be integrated into our communities, to be integrated into our day-to-day workings and shared. Because otherwise, what are we doing? What are we doing? There is so much change going on in the world, and I think bringing ourselves home to one another, to our hearts and the earth, is huge. And we start to shift the way that we look at the land, the way that, question our relationship with the elements. What is it? What is your relationship with fire? How does that relate to other aspects of your life? Your inner fire, and your waters, your emotions. So many aspects of ourselves can be learned and reflected and shared and supported through this connection to the land and the elements. So there's a weed growing around you, say hi, connect, especially if you're someone that's like wanting to connect or feeling called to ground and connect with nature more. I really invite you to start to do this in the area that you're in without feeling like you need to go anywhere else. Create that connection and see what happens, how the wind reacts. Really start to see the shifts as you begin to recognize all that is around you as part of the earth and yourself as this too. Let it be a practice right now. Let it be a practice right now. So I would love to hear and continue this conversation in the comments down below. So if there's anything that you'd like to share, any questions, any reflections upon this, please do share it in the comments down below and like the video if you've gotten this far. Thank you so much for being here and enjoying this sprinkle of divine reminder. Because we know this, we're returning to it. It's a loving remembrance journey. Bring this aspect home. Allow yourself to utilize what is here. Communicate with yourself, with the earth, okay? But yes, lots of love. I'll see y'all in another video.